Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission.
Before we get into all that, I'd like to ask, what got you to this point? I mean, what led you to this place that you're so passionate about Silk Road peoples or people along the Silk Road and gospel-deprived communities?
So for me, it all started in China, actually 21 years ago from this past summer. When, prior to that, I'd heard about people who had never seen a Bible, heard the name of Jesus, heard the gospel, didn't know anything about any of this. So, I went to China knowing that those people existed, but coming from Texas, I obviously had never met someone like that. Halfway through my trip, was in our hotel room. We had about 30 people crammed in there. The short of the story is, we went there to do one thing, and then what ultimately happened was 3 or 4 groups of kind of got together, and we started sharing the gospel with the people in our room. And one of the guys I met, I call him John, and spent a couple hours with him, sharing with him. At the end, I don't even know what prompted the questions. I just asked him, has he ever heard of any of this information before? And he said no. And I said, okay, have you ever heard or seen the Bible before? No. Have you ever heard the name of Jesus before? Or Yesu? No. The answers kept going, no, no, no. And I realized soon after that I was sitting in front of one of these people I'd only heard about. And that for whatever reason, God used me to be able to share the gospel with him. And it was through that conversation that changed everything. And from that moment on, when I arrived in China for that summer, I arrived looking forward to the day I left China at the end of the summer. And then after meeting him, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to find more people like John. And I knew coming back home to the U.S. that there was nothing I wanted to do more than to deliver the gospel to people like him. And so that's really what started. And of course, that started the journey and led me to living in China and things like that. And then coming out of China and getting involved as well in other places like South Asia, Middle East, Central Asia. God just began to grow that within me. And just the more I journeyed, the more I didn't want to go to places where there was a plethora of access to the gospel. I really wanted to zero in and focus on those places that didn't have it, or the access was so minimal you wouldn't even consider it access. And so that's really what drives me.
Missions Pulse. Know God's heart, join his mission. This podcast is powered by Unreached Global. Subscribe, watch, and listen on YouTube today. Visit missionspulse.com.